In early 2026, one regional conflict sparked a crisis that literally rippled across the entire globe. This wasn't just a regional war. It sent an unprecedented shock through the whole world's economy. So how did it start? Well, it followed months of simmering tensions right across the Middle East. The flashpoint, a joint U.S.-Israeli airstrike on Iran's leadership. The retaliation was swift and brutal. The official story cited imminent threats, but critics around the world called it a violation of law. The conflict blew up immediately. We're talking downed American jets and strikes hitting cities across the region. The war's first major economic casualty wasn't a city or an army. It was a waterway. This is the Strait of Hormuz. It's basically the most critical pipeline for the world's energy supply. Get this, 1/5 of the world's oil and 1/4 of all seaborne oil flows right here. So after the airstrikes, Iran took control of the strait, cutting off that massive oil supply. You can imagine the panic. For the Gulf states, it was an immediate, full-blown economic catastrophe. For the countries right there, this wasn't some distant problem. It was an existential threat, overnight. With nowhere for the oil to go, production just plummeted by a crazy 10 million barrels a day. And it wasn't just oil. A massive food crisis erupted, with prices going through the roof. Then, strikes on desalination plants put the region's main water supply at risk. A huge humanitarian crisis. Of course, a crisis this big didn't stay regional. It sent a shockwave across the entire globe. Look at Europe. German gas prices shot up dramatically in just 1 week. People felt it immediately. The pain was worldwide, but it was especially bad for the industrial powerhouses in Europe and Asia. Everything from flights to farming got hit hard, which just fueled inflation and chaos in the markets. But this was more than just a market disruption. It was a fundamental change to our world. The real cost here wasn't just in money or military losses. It was a shift in the global order. What we really saw was the complete collapse of the security system that had stabilized the Gulf for decades. And now we're left with a new reality of constant instability in our energy, food, and finances. This crisis showed us just how fragile our interconnected world is, which leaves one big question unanswered.